All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Shem Shai, by Shem Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and others, a great millstone. Shalom to all that came out to push the word in sincerity and in truth. Yeah, I just wanted to, speak on, a few events that's been taking place, as far as these different states. And it's been going on for, many years, of course. You've had shootings, since guns have been a thing, but the level of aggressive mass shootings and things of that nature are constantly ramping up, and it's leading the powers that be, to push harsher, draconian legislation, gun control rights, you know, um, basically imposing harsher sentencing, putting more restrictions, more surveillance, more you know, things that you have to go through the government to get clearance in order to actually have, so-called firearms. And us brothers in the truth, we don't advocate firearms. The scriptures speak about the weapons of our warfare and not carnal. So this is just from a position just to show that all these things are pushing Esau, to come down with harsher judgments. Cracking down on these different cities as well as these different states, these different counties, you know, due to all these different individuals that's going berserk. You have a lot of lunatics, within the United States. It's a lot of people that's off their meds, you know, that's basically psychopaths and things, sociopaths, and it's nothing for them to get a firearm in their hand, and do massive shootings. That's why you see these massive shootings, whether in the church, you know, um, certain community gatherings, religious gatherings. You had this shooting in a spa in Atlanta. As well as various other places. Where there's a mass amount of people. You have these different people that have high levels of depression, and they want to actually vent their frustration out on the public. Then you see these different massive shootings take place, and a lot of it's MK Ultra, a lot of it's controlled by Esau, but you do have a lot of wild and crazy individuals, which is the Most High. Really, the Most High is putting the spirit out there, to get Esau ramped up to do these different you know actions, because there's a lot of Edomites. Mainly, it's predominantly so-called white people that's doing a lot of these different shootings, which is, like I said, exciting the government to push harsher legislations. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it through the spirit and get into some scriptures. It says, after Atlanta and Colorado's mass shootings, Texas GOP leaders doubled down on protecting gun owners. Yeah, and Texas is one of the few states that heavily advocates gun ownership. Now you have all these different states that you know are advocating, but for the most part, one of the most familiar states is Texas. You're starting to see a lot of people that's jumping up, and they're seeing all these different shootings take place in all these different states, and they're wanting restrictive measures, you know to the point where not any and everybody can have a firearm, whether they have a felony or not, whether they have a misdemeanor or not. They want to do certain things to check and to put clearance on individuals having firearms, and they're really trying to get to the point of you know of the government having full control of weapons, and everybody else basically being free range, which is taking away your rights. You have a right to bear arms, with the United States of America. Like I said, we're not advocating having a gun. Us brothers in the truth. You have certain jakes that have firearms to protect their families and things of that nature. As a means of defense. You know, and there's no of course transgressing with that. But like I said, we don't advocate brothers to actually have firearms. Especially out in the public. you know, and flaunting it. Because Jake gets a little crazy, man. Jake looks at a gun, you know, as an item of playing around with, man. You see certain Jakes, doing all kind of stuff with their artillery and stuff like that. And you're definitely not supposed to even have it like that. Like I said, even if you do have, a firearm, some like I said, some brothers do, just to protect their households for break-ins. It's exercising your so-called rights. But like I said, that's a topic for another time. I definitely wanted to speak on that and put a little bit of coverage and emphasis on that, because that's not, you know, the notion of the lesson is of what I'm pushing. I'm just pushing really through the spirit of, the level of aggression that these, the powers that be, you know, are going to put down upon the everyday citizen. But it says Texas Republican leaders are responding to the recent back-to-back mass shootings in Georgia and Colorado with commitments to protect gun ownership in the state. They're doubling down against President Joe Biden and congressional Democrats who are pushing stronger gun laws, including an assault weapon ban after 8 people were killed in Atlanta last week and 10 more on Boulder this week. Right. So you had the spa shooting. You had the stimulus shooting in Atlanta. I think it was just now shooting recently. I was just now looking into it. It's these little nigglets, man. They're getting caught left and right. You had this one rapper, goes by the name of NBA YoungBoy. Him and his team of degenerates, little niggas that little minstrels that run with them. They all got caught up. They had damn near like 13, 14 guns, man. And it's like I said, it's nothing for the average Negro, Latino, and Native American to have multiple guns, within their households. Guns are produced massively throughout the United States of America. This is if I'm not mistaken, the top gun possession countries within the world. So guns are always in circulation within this system, and they're looking, like I said, Democrats, are looking to put harsher gun laws, which is more draconian legislation, and a lot of people are not going to give up their firearms. That's why the prophecy goes into 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, how they shall not regard kings nor princes, because when these different Democrats, and your governors and mayors, start to do certain things to try to push more gun control, a lot of people are not going to be committed to that. So it says they are going to come to get your guns, says Governor Greg Abbott, speaking at a Texas Young Republicans dinner in the Austin area on Tuesday evening, just a day after a gunman went on a rampage in a Colorado grocery store. Right. So you see the governor, Greg Abbott, feeling a certain way, and more than likely he's a governor that has a lot of guns. One of the good old boys. And I'm just going to read a little bit more, and I'm going to get into some scriptures. The renewed commitment from GOP leaders to protect gun owners comes as the first Texas legislation session is underway since 2019's mass shooting in El Paso and Midland, Odessa, where a total of 30 people were killed and 50 more injured. After the 2019 massacres, Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick struck a softer tone regarding gun control legislation, hinting at potential common ground with Democrats as they raise concerns about state laws allowing private gun sales between strangers without background checks. Right? So, that, like I said, there you have it. Brothers, just be on the lookout for, this devil to come down, way harder. He's trying to find any avenue to push this new world order. And that goes to the prophecy, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know that he hath but a short time. Right, so this devil knows that he has but a short time. So he's using these operatives. He's using these different shootings, pressure from above, pressure from below, auto app KO, to excite, the new world order, aggressively push for that new world order, and us brothers in the spirit of the Lord that's watching, as it is written, watch as well as pray. We have to constantly keep our eyes open, and see what this devil is doing in the background, because he's doing you know, anything through his means to get this thing off the ground. And that's why it even speaks how he, the horns of Esau say he spake like a lamb, but he was like a dragon. So he's gonna come. And matter of fact, he's gonna come with smooth words, to push harsher policies, man. And he's gonna blame the public citizens, and a lot of things they're gonna do. They're gonna blame terrorist organizations. They're gonna blame so-called, what they call us, black Hebrew Israelites. We're not black Hebrew Israelites. We're Israelites, but they're gonna blame Israelites, call us black Hebrew Israelites. Plaster our faces all over the news and major media, put us on headlines and make us seem like the reason why they have to come down more aggressively, which is gonna make our own people want to sell us out. And things of that nature. It happened 2,000 years ago. It happened when Yahweh Shai. It happened with the prophets, the men that were prophesying his word, and it's going to happen now. Daniel 8:25, and through his policy, which policy in today's time would be legislations, executive orders. You have the judicial, you have the legislative, and you have the executive branches. And through these different branches, bills are passed. That's why you have the term legislation. All right, from the legislative, you have executive orders. You have the executive branch. With the word executive, you have the root words to execute. So this devil is going to execute harsh judgments, through the power of the pen. Martial law. You already have these different FEMA centers all over the place. You have these vid testings, so that puts FEMA all over the United States of America, which they've always, been around, but you start to see the presence of them more and more. You're getting more desensitized to these different tent centers, for the vid and things of that nature. But it says, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft, which the word craft is, let's get it. We'll get it after this, to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, which is heart goes into the Hebrew word lob. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So the word I wanted to look up, get it, craft. So it's, get it, marama, which is deceit, treachery. So he's gonna, through policy, he's gonna allow deceit and treachery to prosper. Like I said, that's the power of the pen. Which I just seen this post, how Esau will lock you up and incriminate you for drug charges, and then they'll legalize these same drugs, whether through the pharmaceutical companies or through recreational usage, such as marijuana and things of that nature. And then they'll make you file taxes. That's the deceptiveness and the dupliciousness. The word to be duplicious, so to speak, is to be double tongued. I did a lesson on that a while back, the duplicity of Esau. To be if I'm not mistaken, how you pronounce it, duplicious. To be duplicious is to be double tongued, or somebody that has duplicitous ways is to be, two-sided. That's why it says through his, from peace shall he destroy many, and through craft shall he make, through policy he shall make craft to prosper in his way. So you got to watch this, man. What he says on the forefront is not what he does in the background. All right, so this was just a short segment lesson, just going into these prophecies. So hopefully, brothers, edified them by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Shema Shai, by Shemar Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostle and elders, great millstone. Shalom Akim.